Good day and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. Today we're going to be doing burns. So we'll be discussing why, what, how, and if. So why burns? Well, burns are very common in adults, in children, in whatever it is. There are many different kinds of burns. So there is a thermal burn. You could get burnt from the sun. You could get burnt from steam. You could get burnt from hot water. There's just so many things that could burn you. So it's important to realize that you can also get burnt from cold. So if ice is on you for too long, it's also a kind of burn. A burn can be defined as a change in energy from whatever it is you're touching onto your skin, whether it's very cold or very hot. You also get chemical burns. So there's many types of burns. So it's important to know what to do in these circumstances because there's a lot you can do that can make a very big difference. So what is a burn? Well, a burn is a transfer of energy. So it could be an electrical burn where you touch a plug and it burns your hand. That's just a different kind of burn. So it's important to realize that it is the first thing you should be doing on any kind of burn is to put cold running water over it for as long as it takes for the pain to go away. So if I were to burn my hand on the stove, I run it under the cold water for as long as it takes for the pain to go away. And once the pain's gone away, you leave it there for another 5 to 10 minutes to cool it down. Because if it keeps on cooking, which is what's happening to your skin and your muscle and whatever's underneath, the longer it takes because it gets worse and worse over time. Same way as when you cook a steak, you cook it and then you leave it to rest for 5 or 10 minutes because it continues to cook even while it's not on the stove. So it's kind of the same thing. It's important to realize that when we burn ourselves, our skin continues to burn, and that's why you've probably had a really bad sunburn, and when you come back inside and like 2 or 3 or 4 hours later, you're still really warm. That is a burn and it's still continuing to burn. So that's why you would put like after sun on, is because that cools it down and stops the burning process. A burn that you won't put water on is a chemical burn. So if you pour chlorine powder on you, or you get some sort of strong chemical that is in powder form, don't put water on that because the water will dissolve the chemical and the chemical will become worse. So you can take a dry brush and brush off whatever chemical is on your skin rather than adding water to it because that can make things worse. That's kind of how you're going to treat burns. So I've seen many things happen. People have put butter on their burns, they put egg on their burns, they put all sorts of strange things on burns. I've seen people put olive oil. It's not going to help. The best thing and the only thing you should be doing is putting cold running water over a burn. So there are 3 different degrees of burn. So there's the first, second, and third degree. The first degree is the kind of thing you get from being in the sun for too long. So if you're spending, not like days and days in the sun, that could probably get into a second degree burn where you have blisters. But a first degree burn is like the kind of thing you touch the stove quickly and you release your hand and you suddenly have this red mark that kind of just gets really sore when you put it under the water, and it lasts for a couple of days. But there's no blistering, there's no open sores, the skin is still intact. A second degree burn is when the skin gets blisters and those blisters can pop. That would be a second degree burn. A third degree is when it goes all the way through the skin, it goes through the muscle, and it literally gets to the bone where it's burnt away muscle and nerves and things. And there's a lot of talk in textbooks about that. A third degree has no pain because it's burnt through all the nerves and the skin and the bone and everything. But I can't see that being painless because it goes through the skin and through the muscle and through the nerves. It's going to be excruciatingly painful. So remember, when you're dealing with burns, you put that part of the body under cold running water. If the entire body is burned, if you put the entire body in water, they will get very cold and then they are hypothermic, and that's a whole nother problem. If you have burn shield, which is something I would definitely recommend for every home and for every workplace, burn shield is a kind of jelly goop material thing that they put into a plastic sleeve, and what that is that you then put that onto the burnt part of the body. So whether you've burnt your hand or your arm or your leg or whatever the case is, you take a burn shield and you put that over the part of the body. It cools it down, it kills bacteria, it helps things heal. It is phenomenal. It's been used in my life. When I was a kid, I burnt myself and I now have no scarring, and I probably should have had scarring. It was most likely a first, maybe second degree burn on my hand. So I have used Burn Shield a lot as a paramedic, and it is amazing, and everyone should have it in their homes. And it is just really important to realize that it is cold running water, not a basin of water, not a bucket of water. It's important that it's running because then it stays cold. And also remember not to put ice on any burn, because it actually can damage the skin below it, because it is so cold, the ice, that it can cause tissue death to wherever you put the ice. So remember, just cold running water. Hope that was helpful. It's short, but it's just to the point. Cold running water on burns. If it's powder, brush it off. Straightforward and simple. There's a quiz at the bottom if you want to do the quiz to help you solidify what you've learned. And if there's any other topics or comments you guys want to discuss, I'm happy to talk. So hope that was helpful. Bye.